Okay, so today we're going to install OpenWRT or OpenWRT, however you like to call it, onto my TP-Link Archer A6. So this is just a brand new device, just taken out of the box. It's never been powered on before. So you're going to need a few things. You're going to need a laptop, which has an Ethernet port. So because I have a Mac, I don't have an Ethernet port, so I've just got this USB adapter. You're obviously going to need the wireless router itself. So this is, like I said, Archer A6 we're doing it to today. So the Archer A6, I believe they're pretty much similar to the Archer C6. What else? You're going to need to also have an Ethernet cord that's connected to internet source, because later on you're going to have to connect this device to the internet to update some packages. So first things first, you either hop onto Google or the OpenWRT website, and you're going to want to find this page. So I just Google OpenWRT table of hardware firmware, click Google search, just follow this link, just let it load. Okay, so this is the page, what the page looks like to download the firmware. So obviously my model is Archer A6, so I click enter, and there you see Archer A6. So we're going to get this file here, firmware snapshot install URL. So I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to save this file. This is the first file you need. You need to save this. We're going to this is the file you're going to flash onto the Archer A6 device. So I'm just going to save it on my desktop for now. Cool. Make sure the file's all saved, then we'll go on to the next step. So the next thing you want to do is you actually just want to wire everything up. So I've got the power wire. Okay, we want to connect to this via Ethernet. We don't want to connect to this via Wi-Fi. So if you can see, I'll show you just one of the LAN ports. I've just connected it to my Mac, which goes through this adapter. Turn it on. You might have to wait a couple of minutes or so because it was the first time, if it's the first time you ever powered on the device. So once it's powered on, we've got all the LEDs on. So yeah, you've got power. I think that's 2.4 gigahertz band. That's the 5 gigahertz band, and it's just showing I've got LAN connected. Okay, so once the device is all powered on, you're going to go back onto your web browser. Okay, and because this is a brand new device, the IP address is going to be 192.168.0.1. That's where you press enter. You're going to get a page that looks similar to this. So you might have to wait a while. So Archer A6, please create an admin password. So this doesn't really matter. I'm just going to put it as admin 123. Admin 123, because we're going to change this later. This doesn't really matter because we're going to flash OpenWRT, so I'll just do that just to get past this screen. Let it load. Alrighty, so let's put our password in. Admin 123. I don't suggest using admin 123 as a password, by the way. Use something a lot more secure. Okay. So we don't want to do the quick setup. Let's just go straight to advanced. So this is the portal for the router. So we're going to scroll all the way down the side. Click on System Tools. Scroll all the way down there. You'll see Firmware Upgrade. So there we go, Firmware Upgrade. Okay, just got this little message here, just gonna close that. See where it says manual upgrade, new firmware file, that's where we're gonna upload the OpenWRT file that we downloaded before. So if you see here, OpenWRT, TP-Link C6 V2, C6 A6 is the same. So that was the file I downloaded off the previous page, so just click open. And the reason we want to connect through LAN and not Wi-Fi is to ensure that this file is uploaded correctly and there's no issues. So I'll click on upgrade. Do you want to upgrade the firmware? Yes, I do. And now you're just going to wait. So it's going to upload the firmware and it's going to flash OpenWRT firmware onto the TP-Link Archer A6. So it might take a couple of minutes. I'll just stop the video here and I'll resume once it's finished. So while it's flashing, you'll see that the power LED will be turning on and off. So that's how you know it's flashing a firmware. Let's go back here. You can see firmware upgrading and the power LED is flashing. Cool. So just be patient. It might take you a couple of minutes. Make sure the device has constant power. Do not power it off or anything because you might brick your device. So be very, very careful when you do this. Make sure you're in a good, stable environment. So we'll just wait for this to finish then. Okay, so once this says 100%, it's actually not going to update because the router's actually rebooted with OpenWRT and it's actually changed its IP address. So the way you know it's working is you'll come over here. You'll see the power LED is no longer flashing anymore. Let's try to make that a little bit more visible. Yep. And if you can see the LAN icon, yep, because we're connected to my laptop. So the first way to make sure everything's running okay is if you got Windows or Mac, open up command prompt or terminal. So command prompt on Windows, terminal on Mac, and just ping the new IP address. So the router is 192.168 and now it's .1.1. So I'll press enter. Yep, we're getting a ping back, so that's good. So the next step is we're going to SSH into this. So if you've got Windows, you're going to need to download a SSH tool like PuTTY, so P-U-T-T-Y. Just Google it, install it, and then just log in with 192.168.1.1, username, root, and there's no password. But if you have Mac or Linux, you can just do that. You can SSH into the device just through terminal. So I'm going to do that. I've got terminal open here. I'm going to do SSH root at 192.168.1.1. So we log in as root, which is administrator in Linux. You might get some questions asking you, do you want to trust the device? I'll just do yes. There we go, we're logged in. So we're logged into the router. So the next step that we're going to want to do is going back to that Ethernet cable I said you need. We're going to connect that to the WAN port, the blue port on the device. So I'm just going to go connect that. A bit fiddly. So I've just connected the WAN port to the internet. So you can see it's connected to LAN and it's connected to Ethernet internet. The WAN's got that orange icon. That's okay. So there we go. So we're going to run a couple of commands first. You've got OpenWRT installed, but it's not the latest version, and I want to have the latest version so you can install packages and stuff nice and easy. So we're going to write down, let's first test that's connected to the internet, so let's ping www.google.com. I'll move this over here, ping www.google.com. Okay, that's good, it's pinging Google. So we're going to run a couple of commands. We're going to write an opkg update, and we're going to, this is the package manager that they use. It's called opkg. So we're going to update everything. Just let it do its thing. Make sure it updates everything. All the repositories. Okay, so it's done. So the next thing you're going to write down is opkg install wget. So that's going to be a download client. We're going to install the latest version of wget. Might take a while, just let it do its thing. There you go, it's downloading it. Just let it install, download everything it needs and then install it. So it might take a couple of minutes. So I'll resume the video once it's done downloading and installing the wget package. Okay, so once it's installed a wget package, you should see it saying configuring. That's all good. So now I hope you have that tab that we had open before. where it had download firmware. See this firmware upgrade, we're going to right click on that, whatever you have, copy link location, so you're going to copy that, go back to your SSH client, wget, paste that. Alright, but hold on, let me check. No check certificate. Alright, and you're gonna hold up 1 second. You got wget, and you're gonna add this to the end of it. It's gonna say no dash dash no dash check dash certificate. Then you're gonna press enter, and it's gonna download that. You'll see it's gonna be downloading the upgrade snapshot. So just let it do its thing, let it download the upgrade snapshot. Okay, so once the file is downloaded, we're going to actually go ahead and do the system upgrade. So you can do that just by, I think that's, hold up, go to SSH back into it. Alrighty, so alright, ls will display all the files in the directory. That's a file we just downloaded. So I'm just going to copy that name. Right click, copy, you can write in sys upgrade -v space, and then we'll put the file. We're gonna file name. Alright, now press enter. It's gonna do its thing. It's gonna, you can see that it's disconnected, but now it's gonna be flashing and doing the system upgrade. So you've got the LED flashing. So just let it do its system upgrade. I'll wait maybe. Okay, so you can see it's just finished. It's just finished the system upgrade. You can see all the LEDs are back on again. So that's internet and that's a LAN. So now we're going to do the next step. Let's go SSH back into it. Alrighty, so the first thing I want to do is opkg update. Let it up GUI to access the settings. So we'll install that. So opkg install luci-ssl-nginx. So we'll install that. You'll see this once it's done installing it. So I actually want to install WPA3 encryption, so this is how you do it, because it's not installed by default. So I'll do opkg install -- force -depends force maintainer force overwrite. So wpad -openssl, enter. So run that. That's to install WPA3 encryption. Get a couple more options too. So I always like to do that before I configure anything on the router. So just let it do its thing. Okay, it installed. Let's go here. 1.1. That's the IP, just the router. You'll see a warning like this because it's using SSL. So with Firefox, I think you just click on advanced. Oh, yep. Scroll down, accept your risk and continue, and you'll come here. There's no passwords in this router. Please configure a password to protect. So I have no password set up. Log in, and then yeah, you've got OpenWRT now, and you can see the kernel version right there. TP-Link Archer C686. Everything seems to be working.